Sir. Dear Burt, my question is about oneness. I have been interested in spirituality most of my life and have met many teachers. I have realized that they all talk about oneness in one form or another. My question is, why can't I feel it? Why can't I recognize it when every teacher says it is obvious? Can you explain why I'm stuck? I remember I was just reading recently Eckhart Tolle's experience, and he was saying how desperate he was, how unhappy and suicidal he was most of his life. Until about the age of 29 or so, he came to the point where he couldn't live with himself anymore. So he said, I can't live with myself anymore. And at that point, he realized that there aren't two, I and myself, where our problems come. You see, the reason why we do not realize is because we think there are two of us. All the time this is happening, even in spirituality. In spirituality, people say, oh, there's a lower self and a higher self. You know, and everybody believes that. You see, and as long as you think there are two, you will never understand. So, and then he realized that there aren't two of him. And he saw the question is, he began thinking about it, feeling it, in other words. You know, there are two, there aren't any two. Because if there are two of me, then there must be something more real. And I'm suicidal here, so there must be some part of me. And anyway, this led him to a great fear of the void, the emptiness, because he began to see that there might not be a me as I thought there was. And then the next day he got up, the birds were singing, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, most of you probably know the story, but it's apropos to what we're discussing today. There aren't two of you. Everybody thinks there are two of them. How many people say, I'm learning to like myself. I, myself. Or I don't like myself. Or I don't like my life. Whatever. So I, my, and life. Owning it. And so we learn through this process of two-ness all the time. But we're here at Satsang. We only want what is absolute, what is real. What is real is oneness, known as love. Of course, you know, when we talk about love, the teacher says, feel it. What does feeling mean, incidentally? And I'd like to go into it because people keep saying, I don't feel it. And this is universal. Every client says that to me. What does it mean, you don't feel it? When a teacher says, feel it, what they're trying to say is, go to the concept that you have about it. Immediately become aware of what you think it is. And then go deeper. That's what means feel it. Okay? Because whatever you think it is not. Take it for granted. It is not. All my life, I thought love was, oh, I think I got it. And right away there's a slap in the face. No, it's deeper than that. And then I think I got it again, this oneness. And then no, it's not. It's deeper than that. So we're talking about oneness. You see, oneness is such a totality, is such a grand thing. You are all space, all being, and yet you still retain that semblance of I am this person. That can be helped, you see, because it's working from that point, from that field of experience. So there aren't two. Now, one thing that I'd like to go into is Einstein's theory of relativity, because I think at this point it will help us to understand. Einstein is one of my favorite scientists. I love the man because he wasn't a scientist. He was a great master. All his life he wanted to understand time and space, but there was no way he could understand it. And he went through frustration, even depression, even anger at himself because he couldn't figure it out. But one day, after many years of probing and experimenting scientifically, he realized that how can I understand time and space when my mind itself is time and space? And then he made a quote, which one day you quoted it. What?
You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it.
That was Einstein's quote. You see, that means you have to go beyond the ordinary thinking mind. The ordinary mind that you think you have. Everything that you've learned and experienced, you've got to go beyond it to begin to feel. Now, how do you do that? You see? So one day he had a very silent experience, a very profound experience, where there was nothing but light. And he became fascinated with light. And then he began to understand through this experience that when light moves, even slightly, it creates the world of time and space. So it is light that we see, the semblance of light or the appearance of light, that makes time and space possible. You see? So everything, for example, there's space between us. We believe everything is connected by space. Okay? And time. Because we have watches, we have clocks, we have calendars, and we really think that time is going by. But this is the mind. The mind needs time and space because it can survive or function. You cannot function without that. But you are not that. And then he saw that time and space, which includes everything that is sensually experienced, everything seen, everything heard, is relative truth. Everything is relative. Everything. Everything that you can see, hear, experience, feel, and even know is relative. And then he came up with the theory of relativity. When he came out with it, it was bombastic. Because not many people had gone that far in their way of seeing. So this is where we begin to feel everything is relative. What I think is relative. What I feel is relative. What I see is relative. Relative to what? To light, to the source, to is, to that which is. You see? That which is the only reality. It is consciousness. It is who you are. It knows no time and space. It boggles the mind, right? There's no time and space. There's no beginning or end to it. And yet, from it comes everything that we experience. So, as long as you think that everything that you experience is real instead of relative, that's called the suffering of the world. That's called the ignorance, or it's called the pain that we go through in our growth, in other words. When we begin to see the real, then everything is relative to it, and then we are at peace. So an enlightened person, for example, if you like the word God, which is nice, it's a nice word when you understand it, okay? Because God simply means everything. The source from which it appears is everything. Then everything that you see that is relative is also God. Because everything is relative to it. And it exists also because of it. But everything is made up of light, pure energy. You see? But pure energy itself, being pure, is not discernible, it's not understandable, it's not seen or experienced. But it, from its motion, creates everything that we see and experience. Okay. Now, a question also asked by a lot of people is, I make everything real. Yeah, it's true. As long as you don't know what is real, you'll make everything real. But why? Feel it out. Why do we make everything real to us? Because we don't know what is real. Because there's a part in us that wants what is real. And that part in us is the reality. So the reality is always wanting what is real. So if a thought comes, we make it real. If an emotion comes, we make it real. If an experience happens, we make it real. And we act, to us, it is real. So whatever is happening to us is real. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we really believe they are going by, instead of just a circle and names that we've given to a motion of energy.